What's going on, gangsters? Gregory Scott here. So push-ups, yes, they're that serious. In fact, here's a little known but serious statistic. So for every 10 wrong form push-ups that occur, somewhere in the world, a small kitten dies. A small kitten. It's tragic. If your push-ups aren't the greatest right now or they're not improving, it's okay. That's what I'm here for. You took the initiative to click on this video, you have the desire to get better. Now all you need is the correct advice and the correct information, and that's what I have for you today. So with all that being said, let's go look at a proper push-up and the 4 push-up mistakes you need to avoid so that you can go and you can make ultimate gains. Let's get to it. Alright gangsters, so welcome to How to Fix Your Push-Ups 101. So like I said earlier, there's 4 things that you absolutely should not be doing in the push-up. And if you're doing these things, most likely you're not progressing, you're building bad habits, you're not building a good foundation for you to progress upon, right? And to get to those intermediate advanced movements, we have to have a good foundation. You know, we want to get in the habit of learning a movement correctly, not wasting time and just getting the most out of exercise, right? So before I tell you what could go wrong with the push-up, I want to show you what a good form push-up actually looks like, right? So I'll do a couple reps, okay? So I'm here, you know, I'm nice and tight, elbows are staying in, boom. These are how good form push-ups look. Your push-ups should look like that every single time, okay? And now, I know what you might be saying, what? Like, I can't do a push-up like that. Well, remember, we always want quantity, or not, we want quality over quantity, right? So if you think you can do 10 reps, but they're 10 ugly reps, it doesn't count. It's much better for you to do like 2 good form perfect reps than doing 10 ugly reps and building bad movement patterns, okay? So you might not go as low as I can, you might not push up as easily as I can, you might struggle, but as long as they're quality reps, you're gonna be building strength, that's what you need to be doing. Okay, so good form push-ups, quality over quantity. That's number 1. All right, guys, so now we'll start to get into the 4 things that you need to be avoiding when doing your push-ups, okay? So now number 1, I'm putting this one first for a reason. It's critical that you realize this. It's so important. This is something that a lot of people do. They don't even realize they're doing it, and it's just horrible because it's damaging to the shoulders. You're not recruiting the right muscles, and it's just building bad movement patterns, okay? Number 1 push-up mistake is letting the elbows flare out like this. All right, they'll do the push-ups. Instead of coming in like this, they'll let their elbows flare out. This is horrible, straight from a different angle. You're coming here, instead of being tight how you should be, they're letting the elbows flare out. And especially you'll see this when people do diamond push-ups because you actively have to create that internal rotation. People will come here, let those elbows flare way out, and this is just horrible. Don't ever do this. So for a majority of the movement in calisthenics, you always want to stay tight to your body. You always want to create that internal rotation and that torque. What I like to tell people is pretend like you're screwing pickle jars into the ground, okay? And what that's going to do is going to turn on your shoulder, it's going to turn on your chest, it's going to recruit all the right muscles for the movement. When your elbows are flaring out, you have no torque and you're just killing that tendon. And the way that it does this is it's not even just like one time you do the push-up and you'll feel it and there's pain. It happens over time. So over the weeks and over the months and over the years that you do these horrible like elbow out push-ups, that takes a toll on your body. And then you just wake up one day and you have horrible shoulder pain, you have a horrible shoulder impingement, and it's very hard for that to go away. And sometimes it doesn't go away at all. So it is critically important that when we do the push-ups, we always want to create that internal rotation, keep that torque, and keep the elbows tucked in, okay? That goes for every single variation. So for a normal push-up, our elbows are in. For a diamond push-up, our elbows are in. For a straight bar dip, right? When we're on top of the bar and we're dipping, our elbows are staying in. I'm not flaring out here. So number 1 push-up mistake is having those elbows flare out. So remember, we always want to stay tight, create that internal rotation, and our rep should be here. Never any of this, okay? So keep that in mind. Now it's important to take care of your body. All right, so push-up mistake number 2. This is a big one. It's almost as big as the first, but if you're doing this, you're not gonna, kill your shoulders. All you're gonna be doing is wasting time, right? So people wonder, they say, why am I not getting stronger? Why are my reps not increasing? Why are my push-ups not improving? And it's because of this reason. You're not pushing yourself, you're not going low enough, okay? So here's what I mean, let me illustrate further. All right, so everybody, no matter who you are, you have a point in your push-up where you feel comfortable, and then you have a point where there's a struggle, right? So like I was saying earlier, I was able to go all the way down to my push-ups. I can get good chest to ground reps, okay? But you might not be there yet. So you might be only able to get 90 degrees, okay? So if you can get 90 degrees and you're constantly coming here, there's no resistance there, there's no grind, there's no struggle. You have to go past that point where you're comfortable getting those deeper ranges of motion, and then from there you'll get to the true grind, the true struggle, and that's where your strength is built at, right? So if I'm here, if I'm able to get 90 degrees in my reps and I'm only going to 90 degrees, how can I expect to progress? You can't, okay? You have to go past that point of what's comfortable, and then you'll get that real struggle. Like, I see people all the time, they're just doing these reps and they're doing like 20, 30, or like 10 reps, and they're just like fast reps, just like this. And they're never going past that range of motion that's comfortable for them and truly getting that grind. So we should always be aiming for chest to ground push-ups. When you can get good chest to ground push-ups, then it's time to progress. If you're up here in your push-ups, the goal needs to be to get your chest all the way to the ground. You need to be constantly increasing that range of motion, constantly getting that good form and challenging yourself, right? There's absolutely no growth that can come if you're in your comfort zone. You know, this goes for fitness, this goes for life, everything. Okay, so whether you're a girl, whether you're a little kid, whether you're 300 pounds, 80 pounds, the goal needs to be getting to chest to ground reps, okay? So if you're here, if that's your point, go a little bit lower. If this is your point, go a little bit lower. But every rep should always be grindy, right? Every rep should always be grindy. It should be a push. And then when you get your chest to ground push-ups, then you can start getting extra range of motion on parallettes. You can start doing different variations, diamond push-ups, pike push-ups, weighted push-ups. But yeah, so always go out of your comfort zone, always challenge yourself. If you don't, you're not gonna grow. All right, so earlier, remember, I showed you what a good form push-up looked like, and it was this. So I'm here, everything is tight, my glutes are flexed, my toes are pointed, my core is engaged, I'm pushing away from the ground. This is what's known as hollow body, right? If I was to transition to the ground, I'm immediately in hollow body, all right? And I'll put a link to that so you can see a tutorial that I did on that. But yeah, hollow body is super important. So in the push-up, if you lack hollow body, if you lack core strength, it will start to look something like this, right? My core is disengaged and it's just all chest, and this is just ugly. Right? That's what we want to avoid. You'll see people, they can maybe do a couple reps, but then when it starts to get grindy, they'll compensate and then they'll start to come here, just completely disengage their core and just get that raw push. And that's not good. That's what we want to avoid. Remember, we always want to build fundamentals. We want to build that good foundation for us to progress upon. When you're tired, when you're breathing hard, when your muscles are starting to burn and you're fatigued, this is the true test right here. This is what separates, you know, the average people in calisthenics from the greats. The people that go on to those intermediate and advanced level is their ability to focus, right? So you'll see so many times people, they can do a couple good reps when they're fresh. You know, everything looks good, everything's tight. But then as soon as they start to fatigue, as soon as they get tired, their elbows start to flare out, their lower back, you know, starts to banana back. You know, and not even for push-ups, just any kind of movement. You know, you always want to focus on that form, especially when you get tired. And right now we're just talking about the push-up. So mistake number 3 is losing your focus, you know, letting yourself complete ugly reps. We don't want to do that. That builds bad movement patterns. Like we said, we want to build the foundations. So if you're in a push-up and it's starting to get hard, you know, don't compensate. Don't ever compensate. Don't let your elbows flare out. Don't let your lower back start to sag. You know, stay tight. Try to grind it out. If you can get it, you know, awesome rep. You grinded through it. You know, now your brain knows the next time we're gonna keep our good form when we start to get tired. But just don't let yourself cheat. This is the difference from somebody average to somebody great, and we want to be great, right? So always stay tight. Keep that good form. Work on your core strength. Work on your hollow body position. All right, guys. So the last push mistake, it's a simple fix. You know, it's not gonna be like damaging to the shoulders or cause you to not progress, but it will make a huge difference in your training. Not even just your push-ups, just all calisthenics and even life, right? So all it is breathing, learning how to breathe during exercise, right? So think of like a boxer, right? Or think of a dancer. You know, before a match, you know, the boxer is going to jump around, he's going to be loose. Or a dancer, you know, they're not going to walk in there like a robot, but they're just going to be loose. You know, it's the same thing with exercise. We don't want to be stiff and tight going into these exercises, holding our breath. We want to be flowy and relaxed, right? So here's how I breathe in a push-up, okay? So I'm here, I want to inhale going down through my nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale down. So every time I'm loading up, I'm inhaling. Every time I exert myself, that's when I want to breathe, okay? And that'll make a huge difference in your training. A lot of people, especially beginners, you know, they have so much to focus on that they forget to breathe. And, you know, I see my clients this a lot, it's kind of funny, but yeah, you want to breathe during training. You want to breathe in through the nose, out the mouth. For one, if you hold your breath, you're depriving yourself of oxygen, you're going to fatigue faster, but yeah, it's just you breathe, you're just flowing, you can get into the movement, you can focus on what you need to focus on, and it just feels a lot better. So mistake number 4 is holding your breath or not breathing correctly during the push-up. And it's gonna feel weird at first, like you're gonna really have to be conscious of it, but soon it just becomes natural, right? So this is why things like yoga and meditation, if you're into that, are really good for calisthenics. You know, they go hand in hand because you just learn how to breathe, right? So one more time, remember always, like for 90% of movements, this is how it's gonna go. You wanna breathe in, maybe even more than that. I mean, unless you're doing like a pull-up because it's opposite way. So in through the nose, out the mouth. In through the nose, out the mouth. In through the nose, out the mouth. And that's always how it goes. And eventually, you know, you don't even have to think about it, it just becomes natural, right? So always breathe, don't hold your breath, be loose, be flowy. So whoop, there it is. Those are 4 push-up mistakes you need to avoid. I hope I see some beautiful, just clean, sharp push-ups out there. So I suggest you go record yourself so you can look at your form, get some feedback. and yeah, just make ultimate gains. So thanks for watching this video. If you got something good out of it, make sure you like, subscribe, spread the gains, share it with a friend, all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna be putting a new video out next week. Thank you for watching again, and as always, have a gainful day.